Hello, I'm Michael Diamond, and you're watching Muscle Statue. Okay, this video will be talking about Mamdou Elsbey, Big Ramy. Since Ramy won the title, people are already speculating how many years will he hold on to the title, Mr. Olympia, and how he would have fared against some of the other great Mr. Olympias from the past. Now, I'm not. It's not. This is not going to be a bash Ramy video by any means, and I'm not questioning the decision. He won it, and I think there's not no doubt about it that he won. But let's take a look at him and how he stands now. In this Olympia, not only did he bring size, he's called Big Ramy after all, he brought size, but he brought conditioning. And ultimately, bodybuilding is a muscle show, and with his size and the conditioning that he brought, he has good structure. He was very, very difficult to beat. You needed somebody, as long as he came in condition, you were going to need somebody that not only is conditioned, that can match him with firepower. And there wasn't much there to match him with firepower. The one that could have matched him with firepower, that due to circumstances out of their control wasn't there, was Rolly Winkler. Now, in seeing some pictures, some progress pics of Rolly shortly before the Olympia, and if you compare them to that same time period before the Olympia, the previous year, you can see that Rolly was on track to bring in probably his best conditioning to date. Rolly has the firepower. Rolly might be carrying more muscle than Ramy, and on an inch for inch basis, he is most definitely carrying more muscle than Ramy. We don't know what would have happened if that Rolly would have showed up. My hunch is that structurally, Ramy is better and probably would have gotten the nod. Now, how Ramy would have fared against some other previous Mr. Olympia champions. Now, I already talked about Ronnie Coleman. The 98, 99 Ronnie Coleman were very similar packages. 99 was probably a few pounds heavier. Ramy, although he might have been bigger than that Ronnie, with the shape, flow, the conditioning that Ronnie brought, the pop in his muscles, the overall balance, and when he turns to the back, it's Ronnie Coleman hands down. I don't see this Ramy beating that Ronnie. 2003, Ronnie Coleman matches him for size easily, and he brought in maybe not the same kind of conditioning as he did in 2008 and I'm sorry, 1998 and 1999. But he brought conditioning, and Ramy, this version of Ramy we saw would not have beaten that Ronnie. Jay Cutler is another one. Jay Cutler was the only one that was really able to battle Ronnie. He had the size and the conditioning. The 2001 Jay Cutler, or the 2009 Jay Cutler, where he came back and he regained the title. It's a tough call. It would be a good matchup, and I would have loved to see either one of those versions of Jay against Ramy. Who would have won? That's another tough one to call. And right now, I would actually lean towards those versions of Jay simply because he would by no means be out-muscled or overpowered. And I think the level of conditioning he brought in both those years was better than what Ramy brought in 2020. The last one I want to compare him to would be Phil Heath. As far as firepower, as in regards to muscle size, of course, Phil Heath was not going to match him. But the 2011, 2012 versions of Phil Heath was an amazing package. He looked bigger. He looked to be heavier, carrying more muscle than he actually did. I don't think he was much more than 240 on stage in both those years. But the look that he gave, the look that he presented, he appeared to be bigger than that. He has a pop to his muscle. And like I mentioned with Ronnie, when they turn to the back, Phil has Ramy beat all day and all night. There's no comparison. Those two versions of Phil against what we saw with Ramy this year, or this past year, in the last Olympia, I'm not too sure that Ramy could have overcome that. Phil was that good. Now, I'm not knocking Ramy by any means, and it's not a hate video on Ramy. Because everybody's all hyped up now that the big man won the title. Maybe they're putting him a little too high on the ladder than he should be, at least at this moment. Now, like I said, Ramy brought the size and he brought the conditioning. And he was by far the best man on stage in the 2020 Olympia. Can he repeat that conditioning or improve it or make general improvements throughout his body? Or was it a fluke? We don't know. We'll find out come the next Olympia when we see what he brings to the stage. I very well might be making the same or similar video in a few years down the line with a different outlook. But right now, Ramy still has to prove himself. He needs to at least bring in the same conditioning, if not better, and we'll see what happens. Ramy might very well go on to win 2, 3, 4, 5, or more Olympias. He might continually make improvements and bring himself to a spot where no one's going to catch him. We don't know yet. Time will tell. We'll get our first glimpse of what's to be with Ramy come the 2021 Olympia, when it's going to be held, whether it's going to be September like it typically is, or December again like the last one, we don't know. But we'll get to be able to start answering some of these questions when we see him on stage again. Okay, that's about it for this video. If you agree or disagree with what I've said, please let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share, and by all means subscribe. Do not forget to hit that notification bell. This way, every time I put up a new video, you will be notified. Once again, this is Michael Diamond, and I'd like to thank you for watching Muscle Central.